E3 2010 is now officially over. But before the dust can settle on this year's Electronic Entertainment Expo, GameSpot's editors take some time to sift through all the great games to come up with their picks for this year's best and brightest. Make sure you stick around to the end where we reveal our award's highest honor, the title of Game of Show. Without further ado, here's GameSpot's E3 2010 Editor's Choice Awards. Best Downloadable Game, Limbo. Best Graphics, Gran Turismo 5. Best Stage Demo, Mortal Kombat.
The same kind of core technology that was done in...
GameSpot's E3 2010 Best PC Game goes to Shogun 2, Total War.
There are a lot of impressive PC games at E3 this year, but the most impressive one was Shogun 2. Shogun 2 is going to take the Total War series back to its roots, going back to feudal Japan, but it's going to have more tactical, strategic gameplay. It'll have different types of sieges, maybe even land and naval battles at the same time, but it also has some really, really impressive technology. The character models look terrific, the new lighting effects look terrific, and the battles can get as big as 56,000 units on screen at one time. Very, very impressive game, most impressive PC game at E3.
Biggest what the? Laser tag game at the Ubisoft press conference.
Please don't kill.
Best E3 trailer, Portal 2. Best motion sensor game, Child of Eden. GameSpot's E3 2010 Best Xbox 360 game goes to Dead Space 2.
Going into E3, I was really looking forward to seeing what they were going to do with Dead Space 2, and I have to tell you, I was not disappointed. It is one of the best looking games that was shown off there, and it definitely is, for me, the best Xbox 360 game that was demonstrated there. And just the way the camera panned around Isaac as he fought the necromorphs, just the new kind of environments that he was in, the bosses, just everything about that game just totally blew me away. So that's why Dead Space 2 is the Editor's Choice winner for best Xbox 360 game at E3.
Most disappointing absence, The Last Guardian. Best hardware, Nintendo 3DS. Best action adventure game, Dead Space 2. GameSpot's E3 2010 Best PS3 game goes to Killzone 3.
We chose Killzone 3 as the PlayStation game of the show. Not only does it make use of the PlayStation 3's new technologies, it's full 3D, it has full motion controls from the PlayStation Move, but it just looks really fun. It has stunning graphics that just really show off the capabilities of the PlayStation 3. It's action-packed. You go from one set-piece battle to another. There's new vehicles, new items, and the enemies are just so smart. It's like nothing you've ever played before, and it's just gonna really impress everybody.
Best adventure game, Journey. Best racing game, Gran Turismo 5. Best fighting game, Mortal Kombat. GameSpot's E3 2010's Best DS game goes to Okami Den.
Okami Den is basically a match made in heaven. If you remember the previous game Okami, it was on the PS2 and the Wii. It was a game where you played this magical wolf sun god with a magic paintbrush that could change the world by painting it. It worked pretty good on those consoles and their control scheme, but really on the DS with the stylus and the touchpad, that's really where the drawing is going to come into its own, we hope. The game looks really, really cool. There's some new drawing mechanics, and there's also, I guess, a new companion mechanic that looks really promising. It's great to see Okami return, and it really looks like it's going to work really well on the DS. Definitely the best DS game of the show.
Best platformer, Kirby's Epic Yarn. Best puzzle game, Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective. Best rhythm game, Child of Eden. GameSpot's E3 2010 Best PSP game goes to Valkyria Chronicles 2.
We chose Valkyria Chronicles 2 as our PSP game of show because not only is it an amazing showcase for what the PSP can do, but it manages to continue a PlayStation 3 franchise and take it into the portable realm. Besides being very true to the original gameplay, and more importantly the original art style, Valkyria Chronicles 2 actually manages to add features that everybody had been asking for in the PS3 version. You've got online, you've got co-op, you've got support for downloadable content. This is why we chose Valkyria Chronicles 2 as GameSpot's E3 2010 PSP Game of Show.
Best role-playing game. Valkyria Chronicles 2. Best shooter. Killzone 3. Best sports. EA Sports MMA. GameSpot's E3 2010 Best Wii Game goes to Kirby's Epic Yarn.
So we chose Kirby's Epic Yarn as the best Wii game of the show because it stood out for us. I mean, yeah, we've been waiting for Zelda and like the other M, but you know, with its new graphics, I guess the design, the textures made it really stand out. And the fact that it has cooperative play, who doesn't love cooperative play? And with two people, you can actually merge into this giant Kirby tank. And there's use of the motion controls as well, so I think it utilizes that pretty well. There's some tilting, and there's some shaking, but not too much. So I think it actually works out pretty well, and that's why we gave it GameSpot's E3 2010 Best Wii Game.
Best strategy game. Shogun 2, Total War. Best massively multiplayer game. Star Wars: The Old Republic. GameSpot's E3 2010 Best 3DS game goes to Star Fox 64.
The Star Fox 64 3D, it's a 13-year-old game. But because of the 3D overhaul with the visuals, it just feels completely new. The sense of flight is just really incredible, because you got the debris like flying right at your eyes, and then the enemy ships are targeting their lasers and it's like popping right off the screen. Like, most importantly, it's still a really fun game. So just, it stood out as like the 3DS game of the show, and just the one thing that I really want to get my hands on and just cannot wait to play.
GameSpot's E3 2010 Game of Show goes to Kirby's Epic Yarn.
I'd say that Kirby's Epic Yarn was probably the biggest pleasant surprise of E3 for me.
So on paper, Kirby's Epic Yarn should suck in every way. We've got Kirby, who sucks. We have Yarn, and everyone knows Yarn sucks, and sewing sucks. And we've got the Wii.
So the game finally gives Kirby a chance to have the spotlight all to himself. I think it's the first proper Kirby game that we've seen on a modern Nintendo console.
I knew that when Kirby came on stage at the Nintendo press conference that this was going to be a special game. And it's like, we've all seen Kirby before, and he's obviously very cute. But this one is different because it's like a 2D side-scrolling, and he's made out of yarn. There's just something so adorable about just that simplicity. I think there's like that special charm there when it's something that's, you know, all full of textures, and just like the handmade craft is different than like all the CG graphics that we see today. And maybe because it's something different that, you know, we're instantly drawn to it.
Nintendo has this way of just fully committing to an idea. The idea that Kirby's world is cloth-based, and that sounds so simple, but just look at the trailer and you'll see that they take that simple idea and add so many little layers with like unzipping things or going underneath the scenery, and you see Kirby as a little bulge in the cloth.
Just everything is just so amazing. The way the background is laid out, you can see the little stitches, and you can peel away some of the background to reveal other stuff. So I think like all that combined is why GameSpot decided to give Kirby's Epic Yarn the E3 2010's Best of Show.